Hey guys, Tyrup here, and today we're taking a look at the version 6.0 changes for the new Commander mod. Starting out with US Forces Dozer Blade, cost from 70 munitions to 50 manpower and 20 fuel. So its performance now with the Dozer Blade, or like any Sherman with the Dozer Blade, is more in line with other premium medium tanks such as T-34-85 and whatnot. So I suppose it does make more sense that it costs manpower and fuel to get the upgrade, making the total cost similar to those tanks rather than munitions, and should leave you a little bit more munitions for other things, just cover to cover, weapon upgrades on your troops, like phosphorus rounds on the Shermans. So I think that's fair enough change. Urban assault packages. Incendiary device ability now requires an officer to be deployed rather than grenade tech. So it's going to make it a lot more prevalent. Grenade tech, not that common for US forces, honestly. But now this is more in line with like the OKW incendiary grenade, really. And this could be a problem for Wehrmacht. Like they already seem to be struggling a little bit once the first officer hits the field, so we'll have to see how this performs against them specifically. It could be a problem because if I remember correctly, these Molotovs don't have any wind-up compared to the Soviet ones, so they come out like straight away. They also don't have a fuse like the OKW incendiary grenade, so this could be actually a little bit of a problem in this commander. Rifle grenades now gain penalties to scatter when the squad is suppressed. So yeah, this is the rifle grenade launcher that rear echelon can get, and now they will miss a lot more when the squad is suppressed. So these were like very, very, very powerful against machine guns. So this is something to try and tone down that effectiveness if the squad's getting suppressed by them, which I think is fair enough because yeah, they were kind of cheap. You could just kind of like run them at a machine gun head on and beat them. So I think that's a fair enough change. Okay, so now we're testing the rifle grenade launcher scatter changes once they are suppressed. Running into a MG. That one overshot a decent chunk, and they actually get pinned before they are able to get a second shot off. Okay, so testing the scatter changes on the rear echelon rifle grenade against suppressed, once they've got suppressed, and then it's a machine gun. Machine gun suppresses after the first burst, so that first shot doesn't really count. And still haven't fired another rifle grenade. There it goes. It took a long time to come out. And scatters like way far from the target. Okay, so going for another scatter test on the rifle grenade launcher against the machine gun. Three shots behind light cover here. There we go. First shot coming in after the suppression. And it looks like it overshot a little bit, but not too bad. So a decent chunk of damage. So it looks like the reload is really long on this rifle grenade launcher. They don't even manage to get a second shot off before they get pinned, and that's behind light cover there. So yeah, it seems a little bit hard to test this one, but once the rear echelons seem to get suppressed, they seem to be rather ineffective against a machine gun. Okay, retesting the rear echelon scatter once suppressed. This time they're going to be behind heavy cover. See how they perform. It'll take a little bit longer. In fact, they may not even get suppressed. You know how heavy cover is sometimes. Huge part of them just don't even end up getting suppressed. Like the gunner there. Go from attack round right on the gunners will be better perhaps. They still seem to scatter a little bit long. So yeah, behind light cover, the re-echelons are going to get chopped up, but behind heavy cover, especially if they don't get suppressed, which, you know, often doesn't happen when fighting from behind heavy cover, the MG is going to go down. Okay, hopefully just one more re-echelon behind heavy cover, but this time I'm going to bring another squad nearby to give them some AoE suppression so we can guarantee that they get suppressed behind the cover here. Out of there. So now they're suppressed. Oh, that is a limp-wristed rifle grenade right there, way off target. MG to reload. So it seems to take them a very, very long time to reload the rifle grenade launcher when they're suppressed. Here comes the next shot. Once again, scattering quite a lot shorter. We'll try and attack ground now. See if that fixes things. See if that changes the scatter or whether it still scatters horribly. And using attack ground. Here we go. So that seemed pretty much dead on target to where I was attack grounding, honestly. Hopefully the squad lasts long enough so we can see one or two more shots like that. So auto attack, definitely the shots scatter by a significant amount. Okay, there we go, and I attack grounded all the way back here. So yeah, even on attack ground they also scatter a lot, and then they come out of suppression randomly and then go back in suppression. But either way, if the re-echelon are suppressed, the scatter is quite significant, but they still will probably be reasonably effective against machine guns when fighting from behind heavy cover as long as they don't get suppressed. Calliope, health from 480 to 400. So this one was a big one for team games. Now that the Calliope is really good, all the changes it's gone through, still had 480 health, which is very hard to kill. Every other piece of rocket artillery is 160 health and also has terrible armor, whereas this is 480 health and good armor. So very hard to kill. Means you can't, you know, just like dive a tank in and go after it and kill it, or dive a 222 or something after it to kill it, unlike most of the other pieces of rocket artillery. So 400 health now. Doesn't make a big difference. I mean, it's still 3 tank shots to kill it, but say if somebody's brain AFKing, you could hit it with a Stuka dive bomb, which I believe does 400 damage. So that's, you know, making it more vulnerable to off maps, as well as just other forms of death, but definitely required for the Calliope, because otherwise you just couldn't counter it. It'd be like the days of old. You go on like a dive, end up losing 2 tanks, maybe kill 1 of the 3 Calliopes that they were spamming, and then you just lose the game. But that was back when the Calliope was 640 health, so it's come down a little bit further. Ranges. Added a UI indicator to state the unit receives stronger bazookas will be added to paratroopers in the final release. This was actually a suggestion on the feedback we got from the last patch, which is nice, you know, feedback does get listened to. So now there'll be an indicator that the Rangers and then paratroopers get stronger bazookas, kind of demystifying, you know, they're both the same weapon, bazookas, but the elite unit's getting a better version. So maybe, hopefully, maybe some of these changes will also make their way to other elite troops in the future, which share weapon types. Soviets, general faction changes, conscripts. We are adjusting the upgrade to reinforce the role of conscripts to fight from defensive positions to wear down the enemy through attrition. When upgraded with mobilized reserves, weapon cooldown and reload on Mosin-Nagant rifles is reduced by 50% when in cover. So here we've got some DPS charts from point blank to 35, which is their max range. So this is the standard DPS and then the in cover DPS with the 7-man upgrade. So it's giving them maybe like a 30 to 40% DPS buff. So a pretty big chunk of DPS improvement, honestly. Oh, that's a max range. What is this? Hard to do. Is this like a 10% buff? Just about. So much better performance long range. Mild performance point blank. But if this proves too strong, we will adjust accordingly. So a lot of people were saying the 7-man upgrade was a little bit underwhelming. So this is a way to buff their performance without just making them crazy overpowered. But, you know, this could still be an issue, especially in the late game once there's just craters everywhere. So, yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on this one as well. Okay, so now we're going to test the new Conscript cover bonus in a long-range firefight. 7-man, no vet cons. Fighting long range against the LMG Grenadiers. Also behind the sandbags. So you notice the icon now. They have the cover bonus icon similar to Brits and Ostwind compared to the regular cover icon there. So the conscripts are actually winning this one. Let's drop the first model there. Grenadiers getting a little very low, but haven't dropped any models yet themselves. There goes one. Conscript's still well over half health here though. Remember they got close to, I think it was like a 30% or so bonus at far range. This is taking a really long time, this engagement. Long range heavy cover versus heavy cover. The thing is, once conscripts start dropping models, their DPS will go down proportionally, whereas the LMG squad maintains most of their DPS on the LMG long range. So their damage drop off should be lower, but conscripts did get off to a good start in this engagement. Did quite a lot of damage whilst they're still at 6 and 7 models. Now it seems like the LMG Grenadiers are starting to claw back the lead. Maybe not. Concept V1 with that as well. Grenadiers also close to V1. LMG fighting back.
Attack, assholes! He's coming around!
Oh, Conscript's got a couple shots in there. Looks like they might take it. You guys need 2 more shots to connect. There we go. So Conscript's actually winning long range against LMG Green Squad. So next test with the 7-man conscripts with the cover bonus. I'm going to be Ugraing in. There's some LMG Grenadiers here. Start shooting, hit the Ugra. Since the cover bonus, you know, obviously the numbers of the cover bonus, like damage reduction and whatnot, don't apply at this range, but the cover bonus in terms of rate of fire for the conscripts will apply. And yeah, they won that pretty handily, I would say. Here's the next test. Conscripts sitting behind heavy cover. P-Greens close in, but don't want to close the entire distance. Worried that they'll take too much damage on approach, so stay at a more mid-range. Trying to fight the engagement from there. So 2 models get dropped from the P-Greens quite early. Looking like the conscripts are going to run away with this one because of that. Yeah. So yeah, conscripts winning this one quite handily. I don't think it would go that much better for the P-Greens, even if they try and close the distance as well. I think they'll maybe take too much damage as they approach. So here we go, conscripts behind light cover now. P-Greens charging in against them. As you can see, they still have the cover icon, even in light cover this bonus is applying. So a very narrow victory there for the Panzergrenadiers. So I would say that, you know, they do quite a lot more damage on approach versus squad behind light cover. I think behind heavy cover there would be a very 50-50 engagement. P-Greens probably would not win. M42 anti-tank gun. We are boosting the M42's range back up to match the range of infantry small arms, a slight compensation to its performance when camouflaged. Canister range from 30 to 35, so it's exact same range as small arms. First strike bonus from camouflage now lasts for 2 shots. Unit is still revealed after the first shot. So yeah, some people were complaining now that the canister will be completely useless at 30 range, so it's going up to 35. Still a lot shorter than the 50 it is currently, so it won't be nearly as effective at countering machine guns, but if infantry shooting at it, should be able to shoot back. But this might still be too strong. Like honestly, this thing is getting spammed. So, you know, if you're seeing 4 of a anti-tank gun, mini anti-tank gun, might be key. Something's going on with it. But yeah, first strike bonus. What does it get? I think it's bonus penetration or something. So that'll last for 2 shots now instead of just 1. The marked radio bunker can no longer be garrisoned. To smooth out some of the scaling for Panzergrenadiers, we are splitting the accuracy modifiers between Vet 2 and 3. Accuracy remains relatively same at Vet 3. Oh, okay, that should have been under this section. That's a little bit confusing. This is laid out. So yeah, radio bunker can no longer be garrisoned, whatever. I mean, shouldn't be putting you to anyway. Panzergrenadiers. So combined arms ability now triggers when near allied vehicles. So that is a huge buff, triggering off allied vehicles as well. That means that Vet 1 ability is going to be active a lot more frequently. And this ability is good. It really makes a difference in both engagements and trying to close the distance. There's a big buff to Panzergrenadiers there. Now Vet 2 gives 16% weapon accuracy, and Vet 3 20 from 40. So total amount of weapon accuracy basically the same once you multiply these. So they'll get a little bit better at Vet 2 now. So overall, yeah, there have been quite a lot of changes to Panzergrenadiers. I think by far the most important one is combined arms, and now with the triggering of allied vehicles, but a few other wee tweaks around them as well. Ostwind. The Ostwind is having its rate of fire slightly lowered to lessen its lethality, cooldown from 0.25 to 0.35. So this is the gap between the shots. So not for the reload, but how quickly the shots come through. So it's basically around, it used to be, or the current Ostwind is 0.5, I believe. Previous version's 0.25, so now it's kind of almost halfway between 0.35. So now we're testing the revised Flak Panzer against conscripts out in the open. Flak Panzer closing in. So we need to reload. Didn't seem that noticeable, the slow and cooldown there for the shots. That squad still died very quickly. So once again, conscripts out in the open. This is a Flak Panzer at a more longer range, trying to stay out of AT grenade range perhaps. So yeah, still cut them down very, very quickly. I did that on that test. I did actually notice the slight change in cooldown, the reduction, or the increase in that, the reduction in rate of fire. But yeah, still kills the conscript squad very, very quickly. There's another Flak Panzer test this time. Flak Panzer coming in. I come in threatening the AT grenade. Conscripts, you might do this with the URA. But with other factions you probably don't have that option. I want to show the performance of the Flak Panzer on the move. So chasing them down like that does seem to be pretty good for the Flak Panzer. Still, like firing on the move, backing away like that does seem to do quite well against a unit charging in for an AT grenade. OKW Tiger, Command Tiger penalty from 40% reload and 30% accuracy to 20% reload and 20% accuracy. Okay. Vet 4 and Vet 5 requirements significantly reduced. So this is the aura, the activatable aura that it gets at Vet 4 and Vet 5. Which gave penalties to the tank itself whilst active. So those penalties are being reduced slightly, and you can get Vet 4 and Vet 5 more easily. Overall, they're a buff to the OKW Tiger. So that's it for the mod notes, and as always, I implore you to get out there and play the mod. And until next time, goodbye and good luck. A special thank you goes out to my Patreon backers and donators that help make videos like this possible.